of the Witches Box, and I'm here today with another episode of the Witch BookTube. And today we're going to be talking about another book by Anousen Leonte, and it is called Magick and Talismans. There's the cover. Again, it's a digital format. All of the books come only in digital. I got this on Amazon for $2.99. If you haven't been following along, this is one of the many videos in a long line of videos that I've been doing on specifically books written by Anousen Leonte. And I would say that we're probably halfway through. I'm not quite sure. And if you've been watching all of them so far, you know that up until now I've been giving all of these books 4 stars because I find them to be so amazing. I think that the only book that I only gave a 3-star to, which isn't a bad rating necessarily, it's a rating that I may go back and change. Actually, I thought it was a good book. The only reason I gave it a 3-star, and I believe the title of that book was The Magical Power of Fasting. I gave it a 3 because the book came with a pretty high content warning. Particularly in Western society, we have some seriously effed up issues around food. We are just fucked up around food. And the wounding that can happen when we have issues around food and then read something about fasting can be incredibly triggering. And so it's not a mode of magic that I would recommend to everyone. And that's something that I would say about anything, right? Not every type of magic or not every type of practice is for everyone, but when it comes with the warning that reading this itself could be harmful to you, at least it should come with a caution, and that's why I gave it a 3-star. But the reality is that the content of the book was really good. I thought that it was really important and informative in terms of how we consciously and intentionally approach ritual work. So I have some conflict about giving it a 3-star because it could really be a 4-star. So I may change it, and that's just my own how to deal with sensitive information. I often feel like to give something a 4-star is to say yes, buy it, but it should come with a caveat. Yes, buy it if it's something that's okay for you. All that to say that with the exception of that kind of conflicted 3-star, all of these books have been 4-star so far because every time I read one of these books, I close my iPad or my Kindle and I'm like, oh, this was so good. I'm so glad that I read this. So this book, it's the first one where I feel like it's a 3-star. It's not a 4-star. It's not bad. It's solid. It's good. It's short. It's shorter than I think all the others I've read, maybe. I could be wrong, but it felt like a quick 20-minute read. It felt just about basic 101 in terms of what is a talisman, how to create a talisman. He took it a step further, as he does with most things, which is creating a talisman on different types of material can have different effects. He talks about the different correspondences with different substances, like wood or metal, the different types of metal, and what energetic influence those materials might have on the talisman's power and intention, which is great. And then he talked about using sigils on your talisman and how that's different, how sigil magic is different than talismanic magic, which was great, informative. I think it's important to know. I think that we all walk around with a lot of confusion too about a talisman versus an amulet. He doesn't make that distinction, but I like the idea of going deep into each so that you have an awareness of why they're different. So it was good and informative that way. I didn't walk away feeling the high buzz of like, oh, this is all new. It wasn't. So it's a solid 3. It's good. If you're interested in this topic, get the book. If you feel like you've got a good handle on how to work with talismans, you may not need it. At the same time, I like the through line that he keeps. For me, these books are different than what the title suggests. For me, all of these books have been about sigil magic for me and about developing that skill in a very deep way. And so even this book, where it's Chaos Magic and Talisman, right, where he's talking about chaos magic's theories on talismanic magic is, for me, the juice is every time I pick up one of these books, I learn more about how to use sigils. And I feel like I'm past the foundation stage of working with sigil magic. Like I'm building now a sturdy and very layered practice with my sigil witchery, where it's now used for very different things and accessing different parts of myself, which I really appreciate. So my personal journey with all of his books has become truly about that, even though the titles and the overarching topic of the book or each of the books is a little different. That's what I'm pulling out of each book now. It's like, no matter what we're talking about, I'm learning more and more and more and more about sigil magic. So if anything, if that's something that really interests you, I'd get all of the books. I have a few more to read before I'm done, but that is the through line, and I really appreciate that. And I think that I don't know if it's safe to say this yet, but it's probably the biggest value, I think, in reading all of this information that he's written. So It's a 3, but maybe it's a 3.5. Do you know what I mean? I'm not quite sure. I have one more book to share with you that he writes specifically about chaos magic, but again, sigil witchery, man. That's what it's about. So, Chaos Magic and Talismans. I recommend it if it's something that you're interested in. I will probably end up writing a blog post on talisman versus amulets and how to work with each at some point soon, because I think it's something that comes up a lot. It's a great type of magic to work with a couple of times, if not at least once in your life, in order to expand your magical repertoire. I think it's good. It's a good practice that way. So I will put out a post about that at some point, but don't wait for it because you know I've got like all sorts of things going on. In the meantime, if you're interested, get the book. The great thing about them is that they're all very affordable. $2.99 is great. I'm actually not sure if I got this on Amazon. There were a couple that I could not get through Amazon, and I had to do some serious hunting around. So down below, there will be information on where to get the book. And that's it. This one was a short and sweet one. More to come. I'm still reading his books, so I feel like all told, this will probably be like a month and a half worth of reviews. I hope you're still sticking with me. I hope this is something that you're still totally turned on by as well. Continue to please give me comments below and thoughts if you've read these books, if you're reading along. And if you have not subscribed, please do so, because we want you to keep coming back. We want to talk to you. We want to share with you. You can click the links that show up on the screen after I'm done talking to subscribe, and there's probably another video that you can watch as well. But definitely subscribe, and then there's a red subscribe button down below. If you click that little bell, you will get a notification in your inbox that says whenever we drop something new, so that you can be in the know. And with that, I wish you a wonderful week, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks.